Good evening, everyone. Up until just a few moments ago, our top story was going to be the weather and all the flooding. However, a hostage situation has developed on the city's east side.
Our George Franco is standing by live on Essex Street, where police are now trying to talk the gunman into giving up. George.
Well, Lori and Alan, it is hard to say exactly what led to this hostage situation, but apparently it seems to be a lover's quarrel. The area has been barricaded by police around the Essex Street, that is at 620 Essex, where that man is held up. It started about an hour and a half ago. A hostage negotiation unit has arrived here. Those men are armed and they have approached the house. I saw one of the apparent home owners or someone who lives in that house telling the hostage people how to approach that dwelling. Police say one man who was identified by his girlfriend. She told me this just a little while ago, that he is 25-year-old Hilario Joe Ortiz. Police say he is the man that is held up inside that house, or at least that woman says he is the man inside the house. Police confirm that there is a man inside the house. They also tell us that he is holding 3 girls. Their ages 5, 6, and 7. Now, those girls are belonging to that girlfriend that I talked to. They are not that man's children in that house. We have just heard word that he may have just released them. We don't know if he is armed. Apparently he is, because the hostage negotiation team has been called. But this abduction continues, and it's right now a matter of getting all the details. Lori, Alan?
All right, George, thank you.
Now on to all that weather and the resulting flooding. By far, the most dramatic incident was near Weidner Road in the Schertz intersection this morning. A terrified 3-year-old boy and his father had to be rescued when their pickup truck was swept away in raging floodwaters. Now, a NewsFour crew was already on the scene to check out a report that another pickup had been washed away at the same spot less than an hour before. Our photographer, Jose Davila's exclusive pictures will tell the story. The voice you'll hear shouting to the driver and calling rescuers to the scene is Jose's.
All right, look at that, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Better get out. Boy! Get out, get out. Get out of the truck and walk.
I got my 3-year-old son in the truck.
He's got a 3-year-old, come on. Hey, hey, he's gone, he's gone. Help him. Somebody help him. Oh, watch it. He's out. James, let him stay there. He's all right. Don't move.
If I put him in the box, can you get him out?
Give it to him. Wait a minute.
I'm out. Keep him out.
I got it. You get him up there? Yeah. What about them? Come back. Take this stuff. You go take this. Go get your stuff. Get out. Come on.
It's gonna roll. Get out.
Come on, quick.
No problem. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, thank you.
What about that other vehicle? Anybody in it?
No, ain't nobody.
That's the one that first washed
We'll
off.
take that. Thank you.
What a ride, wasn't it?
It was exciting.
What's your name, sir?
Charles Lovis. And how are you?
Why did you go through?
How are you?
Fine.
You okay? Okay, there we go. We're in business. Okay, let's go up and use the phone.
Oh my God.
2 very lucky people and many big heroes, as you saw. Now, the father cut his nose. The little boy hurt his knee. That's about it. At last report, the little boy was hospitalized in good condition. He had to get some knee surgery.
Hope he'll be okay, though we haven't had anything quite so dramatic happen since then. This same type of thing has been going on a much smaller scale all day, and it continues tonight. The latest incident is on Roland Avenue near Bon Air. 25-year-old Juanita Thompson drove her red Mazda into a low water crossing and got stuck. Before going into the crossing, she did notice that the water was all the way up to the number 4 on the high water marker, but she says she thought that meant 4 inches. By the time she realized her mistake, it was just too late.
I tried to put on my brakes and back up, but my brakes wouldn't stop. So my car just flooded on down to the middle.
A city tow truck had to be called, but the water was just too deep to get her car out. She'll have to wait for the water to recede. As is often the case when rain hits hard in San Antonio, parts of the hill country got it worse. Some towns reported receiving 9 inches of rain in just a matter of hours. The hardest hit area appeared to be Medina Lake. About 20 families were routed out of their houses by rising water. And when the floodwaters came, they came quickly.
Shoot, within a matter of minutes, when the water was inside, all we could do just to get out and lock the door.
But everyone did get out okay. But homeowners worry that more rain will put them into even deeper trouble. Medina Lake is already cascading over its banks, and the same thing is happening to creeks and the river throughout the hill country, leaving some people stranded by water. But folks seem to be making the best of the situation tonight. There are no reports of any injuries.
And of course, whenever that much rain hits the hill country, it spells potential trouble for folks downstream. How much flooding they get depends on how well the dams are holding up. News4's Dan Cuellar and photographer Pete Cuellar have the view from Sky 4.
At the Medina Lake Dam, northwest of San Antonio, this was the scene. Water literally gushed down the spillway at a substantial rapid pace, making its way into the Medina River. The river is expected to reach the 28-foot flood stage by tomorrow morning. It was at 20 feet earlier today. Already, a number of homes were surrounded by water, and a couple of pickup trucks were lost. As far as we know, no one was hurt in those mishaps. Perhaps surprising, over at the Almost Basin Dam, things were holding up pretty well, except for the baseball diamonds, the golf course, and other recreational facilities, which expectedly were underwater. At last report, the water level at the Almost Dam was at 26 feet. That's about 6 feet short of the highest level recorded during last year's record flooding in June. In the absence of more rain, it is not expected to rise substantially overnight. I'm Dan Cuellar, News 4 San Antonio.
Coming up next, we'll continue our News 4 Extra, Kid Crime.
When it comes to turning children away from a life of crime, does anything work?
If I tell them, if you get in trouble again, you're going away, they're going away.
News 4 San Antonio is brought to you in part by your local San Antonio Mazda dealers.
A lot of places will guarantee your parts to last for a time. After that, well, it's a dead issue. But there's another place that will guarantee your parts for a lifetime. Your starters, alternators, brakes, water pumps, and on. Because we believe that the parts you buy today should work for you tomorrow. Auto Shack. We've got the warranty of a lifetime.
Like to win this fantastic 87 Suzuki Samurai? You could if you scratch it rich in this Sunday's Light. And you'll get twice as many chances to win your share of more than $1 million in cash and other prizes, too. But that's not all you'll find in this Sunday's Light. Viva features Bruce Springsteen, America's Sexiest Bachelors, and a bonus poster of pitcher Fernando Valenzuela. Plus, parade profiles bodybuilder turned movie star Arnold Schwarzenegger. And if you're a fisherman, you'll want to read The Light's Guide to Summer Fishing. Actually, The Light has something for everyone. Pick up a copy this Sunday and see for yourself.
If you want farm fresh produce and big savings, you've got to think big.
Justin, a standard of quality since 1879. The Western Store Harry's, Justin's leading dealer in South Central Texas. Justin Ropers for ladies in 17 colors, including red, navy, and gray, only $69.95. Justin Ropers for men in brown, navy, gray, tan, black, burgundy, and taupe, always $69.95. Justin Ropers at the Western Store Harry's, where they stack them deep and sell them cheap. The Western Store Harry's, corner of Babcock and Hillcrest.
We have an update now on that hostage situation on the city's east side. Let's go live to George Franco. George?
Ellen, it has been confirmed that this hostage situation is over. Police have arrested Hilario Joe Ortiz. They just told me that just a couple minutes ago. Apparently he is still in this hostage negotiation unit. They say that he had a gun, but it was left on the refrigerator, and he gave himself up rather peacefully. So this is over for tonight. Alan, Lori, back to you.
Okay, George, thank you for your work. Lori.
The consensus among the experts is that the juvenile justice system is not working. Tonight, Dan Locke continues his News 4 Extra Kid Crime with a look at one of the biggest roadblocks to turning a kid around.
It's a caseload. I particularly like the individuals who are the probation officers. I find that they're the heart of our whole operation.
Pete Gonzalez is making the rounds of some West Side schools. He planned to see 2 kids here, but by the time he walked in the door, only 1 was left. The police had just taken the other kid, Jerry, downtown. a suspect in vandalizing some cars that morning. And since he'd skipped classes, Jerry had no alibi.
Jerry said, take me down and fingerprint me, so he's ready to take the polygraph on this one.
Henry, the other kid, was caught burglarizing a building on something of a dare. He happens to be one of the school's best athletes.
He has something that a lot of the kids that come through here don't have, and that is that he is able to get some positive reinforcement at school.
Henry isn't the kind of kid who causes a probation officer a great deal of concern. He's probably going to be all right. In fact, of the 50 kids in Pete Gonzalez's caseload, 40 of them are something like Henry. But the other 10...
They're kind of the kids that you walk into a school and everybody knows him because he's always in trouble.
You find yourself running from crisis to crisis?
Yes. It's almost like putting out fires. You know, you take care of one fire and you've neglected the other cases, and then they explode.
The source of the fire, almost always, is the parent.
The mother that brings in her 13-year-old and sits him down there and then proceeds to tell me that her husband was right many years ago when her husband said that they should have put this kid in a plastic bag and thrown him away. The fact is that she had totally abdicated her responsibility for that child. She wanted nothing more to do with him. He was a burden to her.
You go to the probation offices and look through those files, you'll see the abuse these children have had to put up with. That's why they're here. But the law does not allow me, in my opinion, to say to the father, now, you've got the drinking problem in the family. That's why this kid isn't going to school. I'm ordering you to go into, this treatment center. I don't have any jurisdiction to do that.
In Louisiana and in Washington, they have laws that allow the judge to declare the parents in need of supervision.
Yeah, well, I'd love to be able to have that kind of a procedure.
In San Antonio, when a kid comes from a bad home, there's little chance. Maybe his probation officer will, by force of personality, convince him to stay straight. Maybe the threat of being sent off to a state institution will.
I don't try and bluff them. If I tell them, if you get in trouble again, you're going away, they're going away.
It worked with Eddie, but not with his friends. Guys that you used to hang out with, what are they doing now?
They're burglarizing house.
Have you been tempted?
Yeah, a lot of times, but I never done it.
What kept you from going? You afraid if you get caught again, you may end up going to TYC?
It's exactly what my PO said.
That's what your probation officer said?
Get in trouble one time, you're gone.
What frustrates Rickoff is that a lot of kids don't need to be sent to TYC. Might even be worse off for having been sent there. All they really need is to be someplace other than home.
I just had one yesterday, which was a classic example. A spray paint mother who was falling asleep in the courtroom. I mean, her head actually came to rest on the chair in front of her, and her daughter was passing out next to her. And little Santiago was their son, a real nice boy. And I just thought to myself, I can't send him back to this family. I mean, they're a bunch of thieves. That's what they do all the time. They have him burglarizing homes. So I had to send him to TYC. The trouble is, he'll come back from TYC in 4 or 5, 6 months, and he'll go right back to that house.
And the cycle will start all over again. Dan Locke, News 4, San Antonio.
Some juvenile courts in this country are having some success turning around bad kids. The juvenile court in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for example, has cut juvenile crime by 2/3 during the past 15 years, and they've done it without sending kids off to state institutions. Here, many times, the only answer is sending them to TYC. Next week, Dan will continue his series on kid crime by looking at TYC and the kids who come back. That's next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Meteorologist John Willing is coming up next.
Among other things, he's got time-lapse radar pictures of that incredible storm building and sweeping in this morning. Don't go away.
Ever feel like you have to perform just to get a deal on name brand electronics or appliances? You have to play their tune?
Do you feel like service is a reward you must earn? McDuff's feels just the opposite. Our triple tough McDuff guarantee promises you top service, delivery, and the lowest prices.
Like the AirTemp 5000 BTU air conditioner for only $184, or an Orange refrigerator with ice maker only $6.99.
Look for McDuff for big savings and big service at your neighborhood McDuff's electronics and appliance supercenters.
They're coming. They're coming by train. They're coming by truck.
They're coming for your Mazda dealer's spring cleanout. And as fast as they come, he's cleaning them out with spectacular deals on 626, the world-class family car. And special factory cash incentives can save you hundreds on a B2200 truck. So come to your Mazda dealer's spring cleanout now. He's cleaning them out, but it's your chance to clean up.
Get a great deal today at your San Antonio area Mazda dealer.
Cleaner good, men.
Aye, sir. Sir, unidentified deposits on fuel injector 3.
This sounds like a job for the Power Scrubber.
Conoco's unleaded gasolines with Power Scrub clean your engine's fuel system so your car runs smoother with more power and fewer engine problems.
Hey, kid, for a rookie, you weren't half bad. What's your name again?
Bradshaw, sir.
Right.
Get Power Scrub with Conoco unleaded gasolines.
They're here. They're scary. Strange. Alien creatures. Run for cover. Run for safety. Run for your light. Run to wherever Miller Lite is sold and look for this special display, because in specially marked cases of Miller Lite, there's a chance to be an instant winner of up to $100,000. But hurry, because they drink Miller Lite too, and the end is near. We're doomed. Sweepstakes ends June 30th, 1987.
You know, we've been talking about the weather up the top of the newscast. It's been the big story all day long. It's awfully quiet out there right now. Is it uncomfortably quiet?
Strangely quiet.
Uh-oh.
I'm watching this one with a little bit of, you know, just kind of a second look, because this is right now not doing a whole bunch, and tomorrow it has every potential to bring us a lot of rain. Outside right now for San Antonio, though, it is mostly cloudy, and the temperature is down to 70 degrees. Now, it hasn't been all that warm today. We were 77 at midnight last night, so that really was the high for today. But this afternoon, it was only 74, so that isn't exactly warm. Humidity right now is 76%. That's still up there, high. Winds are from the south at 7 miles an hour, and the barometer has been rising at 30 inches, and the allergens were rained out again today. Here's what it looked like for the time-lapse radar from 1 o'clock in the morning until 10 this morning, and you can see that this big ball of showers was moving through the northwestern hill country. As it passed through Garner Park area, they had 8 inches of rain right there on the Frio River. And watch that band of rain as it comes towards San Antonio during the early morning hours. It got bigger and bigger. It solidified into one long band, and then it started lashing at the city. In San Antonio and in Bexar County, we had 3 to 5 inches as this storm came on through. Vivid lightning striking the ground. A lot of people commenting that the lightning was close to their house. It was quite a storm to remember. At the airport, since midnight, they've had 3.5 inches of rain. 3.54 was the exact total. This was some showing for the rain. Looking at the current radar, though, we have mostly ground clutter here, although I do know for a fact that there are a few embedded thunderstorms. It's not just thunderstorms, but light rain showers embedded in this ground clutter pattern. Also some scattered showers up here in the northern fringe of the hill country, just to the east of several cities up there in the extreme northern edge of the city, but not very much coming into our area. Okay, now let's see what happened as far as rainfall amounts. In Comfort, Mrs. Horner calling with 4.5 inches of rain up there, and Jim Helmke 2 inches in Lavernia, so quite a lot of rain falling there. Also, Hank Reinecker and Tex Alice called in about 3.5 inches of rain in the Whispering Oaks division. That's on the northwest side of town. And Lackland Air Force Base, they had over 2 inches of rain there from Dr. Kate. Also, Mike Giles just called and told me he had 4.2 inches of rain at the intersection of Blanco and West Avenue. So we've had some pretty good rains falling around in our area. As we look at the radar, though, tonight, the biggest concentration of rain up there is in the northern fringe of the hill country, and then again here in northwest Texas. Also here in the southeast Texas area, quite a few thunderstorms and some down in the valley areas. The ones in southeast Texas were really vivid this afternoon. They had in Houston, they had a tornado that touched down right there on Highway 6 and Westheimer Road, right there in a western section of Houston. No damage reports from that. It apparently wasn't a really bad tornado. As we look at what's happening temperature-wise, those 60s have come in, still low 70s, so it's fairly cool across the whole state. Highs, though, getting up into the middle 70s. Presidio had the state's highest temperature with 95 degrees. Very, very warm temperatures out there. As we look at the satellite picture, though, you can see that Texas seems to have the most clouds. There are some over the western states, but they're not producing near the amount of rain that we're seeing. It's this flow pattern locked on top of us which is causing all the weather. This low pressure is sitting there over northern Colorado. The most active area in a low pressure like this is right on top of us, and there's a traffic jam in the atmosphere. This pattern does not want to move. Thunder showers are again likely late tonight and tomorrow morning, lows dropping to 68. When you wake up, thunder showers, temperatures in the upper 60s, and tomorrow getting up to 83 with some scattered thunderstorms. Tomorrow's storms, I don't think, are going to be bad as what they were today, but with a moist ground, we could have problems.
Sunday, a few scattered showers. Monday and Tuesday, we get a little break there until Tuesday, and then Tuesday night, more showers coming in again. So, as I said, the showers shouldn't be as bad tomorrow, but the ground is saturated, and so it'll roll right off and create some more problems.
All right, John.
The coast isn't bad. A few scattered showers there.
Hey, that sounds good enough. Thanks, John. Hey, did you know a little history was made tonight?
No.
Well, the graduating class of Castle Hill's First Baptist School, I should say, had the very first graduating class. Congratulations to
My
them.
goodness, I wonder if that's one of the graduates right there.
No.
No. That's Georgia's Sportscast coming up in just a moment.
Guzzling Gus, the gasaholic. You have been accused now of a capital offense. Oh. Wasting cash, wasting gas. What is your defense? This is just the first of many charges you will face.
What's the price to keep you running and a costly parking place? Tell your human, tell your friends. Mia's here to make amends.
Everyone reached dividends. When you don't drive, the verdict.
Guilty!
Well, I'm taking this to a higher authority.
That's a feeling. Yeah! Take it easy.
Okay, take the bus.
Driving home, only got a few more miles to go. With the western sun behind me and the Texas road below. Driving home, Texas.
See why Texans are driving home in Lincolns, Mercuries, and Mercurs.
Texas, I'm coming home.
See your Lincoln Mercury Mercur dealer.
In the quest for the best oil at the best price, there are many ways to turn. But to get to the right place, there's only one way to go. Auto Shack. And the reason?
Right now, Avalon Motor Oil is just 25 cents a quart after case rebate. Just 25 cents a quart.
And besides Auto Shack, there's only one place we know where you can get oil cheaper. But you might have to wait for a while.
Pride. If the buyer will very carefully look at our home against any of the competition, we believe that his decision will be to buy a Morton home. Pride.
I like the kitchen. It's all wood. Everything's wood. It's nice and big. You don't feel like you're cramped at all.
Everything is an open concept. The house looks big.
Pride. The difference is the way we design and build a home and how you'll feel inside.
Pride is the difference. Morton Homes.
I don't think George will mind if I take a moment to invite all you sports fans and non-sports fans alike to tune in beginning tomorrow evening, beginning at 7:30, for the Children's Miracle Network Telethon that runs for 22.5 hours right here on Channel 4. It is the most successful telethon in San Antonio. Tune in and you'll find out why.
And
now sports.
Thank you. How about a drum roll after that? That's an important thing to talk about, though. But right now I'm going to talk about baseball. The Astros opening a series in St. Louis tonight. Roll the tape from Busch Stadium. Second inning, Kevin Bass puts the Astros up 1-0 with a rocket deep to left field. This is a solo home run for Kevin Bass. But then in the sixth inning, Mike Scott's out of the game with a back problem. Willie McGee dings Aurelio Lopez for a double to left center field. First of a pair of RBIs for McGee as Jack Park scores 2-2 in the sixth. Fielding gem of the game, Chuck Jackson with a fly ball to right center. Here comes John Morris, a sensational diving grab. Just not the Astros' night after that on the scoreboard, 8-2. St. Louis over Houston, that final just in. Meanwhile, Cincinnati has clobbered Pittsburgh. Chicago leads Atlanta in the 11th. 3 games are in the early stages out on the West Coast. American League tonight, Charlie Huff and the Texas Rangers at Kansas City. Huff throws a knuckleball. Watch this now. It dances through the legs of Juan Benitez. The ump says the pitch hit him. Benitez heads for first base. Huff heads for the plate for a word or two with the ump. But as usual, the ump gets his way. No matter, fourth inning, Larry Parrish just crushes this pitch deep to center field. Gone for a 3-run homer as the Rangers romping over the Royals tonight. Scoreboard there, 16-4. Texas in the 8th inning. Seattle, meanwhile, leading Baltimore. That, I understand, is now a final. Elsewhere in the American League, we have Oakland over New York. Chicago beating Boston by 2 tonight. Cleveland by 3 over Milwaukee. Detroit clobbers Minnesota. And Toronto by 2 over California. High school baseball playoffs tonight. MacArthur and Allen Memorial postponed until 1 p.m. tomorrow. Relatively quiet day at the French Open. There was one upset among the seeds as number 10 Kathy Rinaldi lost to Natalie Tauzier in straight sets. Dublin, Ohio, round 2 of the Memorial Golf Tournament. Kenny Knox with one of the super putts of the day. This is an eagle on number 15 to put Knox at 6 under par. Payne Stewart, a nice delicate 10-footer here for a birdie to pull even par on 15. The leader, though, after 2 rounds, Scott Hawk at -13. Mike Tyson weighed in 1 pound heavier than Pinklon Thomas for their heavyweight title fight tomorrow night in Las Vegas. Tyson at 218 3/4, tipping the scales today. Thomas at 217 3/4. Tyson's the champ, Thomas the challenger, but Pinklon's trainer says his guy will still treat Tyson like the new kid on the block.
Pinklon's no fool. He's been to school, and he's going to teach the other guy the golden rule.
Okay, Angelo, that was cool, but I think in this little duel, your guy's going to wind up looking like the mule. No NBA action tonight, Detroit. Did you get that?
Now I know where Muhammad Ali learned his poetry, right?
So, yeah. Detroit and Boston tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. Game 7.
No.
Yeah, or is it round 7?
Something like that.
Well, don't go away. John Willing's going to be back with a quick weather recap. Stay with us.